Hello there, and welcome to episode 2 of my tutorial series for Tavern Keeper. In this one, we're going to talk about the kitchen and a lot of management things in between. I'm going to talk about how to put up schedule and how to expand your tap room. We're going to talk about that too, because eventually your establishment will always have to grow a little bit. I have taken the time forward a little bit, hired a third guy, but beyond that, I didn't expand anything too much. So many people were waiting for a toilet, I can't tell you. Today, we're also going to set up a couple of services, and I want to go a little bit deeper than in episode 1 into the systems where I just covered the how to. So, let's get started with the kitchen. So, I have saved up quite some money, which I would recommend before going into that, because it does cost quite a nice sum of money, and either you pick it up step by step or you save up some money. It's up to you. So, we're going to build ourselves a kitchen. I've decided to make mine over here, just like that. We're going to use that little area here as a storage. Here we go. That door we're going to put up there. And now we're going to go for that toilet I've been talking about over here. Just quickly put in the necessities. This is services that the people in the tavern will note and value. More about that later. And yeah, now we got also, since we started setting up the kitchen, a checklist for that. So I want to explain what these things mean. First up, we need a food window. This is where the staff will order the food and then somebody will go into the kitchen and cook it there. Mind you, this is a pretty small kitchen. You could also consider putting your kitchen over there. I think eventually the kitchen will move over there, but I felt like this is a nice corner for getting started. Like I said in the previous episode, if you feel like designing your tavern differently, feel free to. It's yours after all. So, the food window is what we need to process orders. The grill is the most basic food processing station that we're going to go for. Don't try to go for the soup pot first, because at the beginning you have 3 meals that you can make, but they're all way more preparation steps than just slapping something onto the grill. We're going to cover the soup pot in a few minutes, don't you worry. So now we have something that we can prepare our meal on. Something in between that I want to do is to set up the storeroom over here. Without storeroom, we can't really store our food. I like to separate my drinks from the food. It's up to you how you want to manage it. We're going to go and set into here a couple of shelves. Let's make that. Yeah, 2 are enough for now. They store 3 items each, just like those barrel racks there. So, now we also need in the tap room a table or 2. The thing is, at the bar counter, the guests can't have meals. They need to sit down at a table. Small tables host 2 people, normal tables host 4 people, and as you can see here, there's also a star rating. I personally like to go for the bigger things if possible, and here's something that I want to showcase. There is these green slots. These are interaction slots, and necessary to serve customers and host customers. Ideally find a spot where everything is green and you're good to go. I like to go for the large tables preferably. Small tables are also okay, but you get the idea. Okay, so now we have almost everything that we require, except for food. So let's head on over to the map and get that done. Here again, I recommend to order from close by deliveries, because delivery times are very, very short. At the beginning of the game, our ingredients are a little bit well, but here I want to showcase something. The red looks really, really nasty, but if you look at the ratings here, and this is something that you can analyze with each drink and everything you serve, there are customers, orcs and dwarves namely, And even tier 1 humans were fully okay with eating a fine crispy rat on a stick. It's just those elves and halflings who feel like, or well, tier 2 humans, sorry, halflings. As you see there, the higher the tier the guests go, the more their desires grow. The thing is, people order always the thing on your menu which is closest to their best liking. So if there is a rat and let's say a chicken on the meal, any orc and dwarf will order the rat because that's what they love, and a tier 2 human would of course take the chicken because they don't like the rat so much. So don't worry about serving things that certain clientele hate. They won't order it just to hate on you. That's not how this game works. So if we look on to over the other market here, at the halflings, you can get yourself some chicken. The chicken is much more liked by everybody, but the downside here would be that you have a much longer delivery time, a higher price per item, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's up to you how you want to bring things up. We're going to go work with rats because, you know, you only rat once. We're going to go here for the normal delivery. This is where it pays off to live close by to your establishment. So, once the rat is delivered, we can start concocting a meal. This is the basic process. The grill is very, very simple to go for. Here we just need to go here to the tavern menu, add a dish, and here we get now to select categories. The morsel soup and the stew do require a soup pot. We do lack two ingredients though, vegetables and water. Water is also a vital ingredient for any soup. More about that in a minute. So here we select the grilled skewer. When you select a recipe, you now get to select the ingredient. For us, it's a rat. Give it a nice flame, and there we go. Here we have a analysis about the tastes about that. I will go deeper into that in a future video. For now, it suffices to say that orcs and dwarves share tastes like halflings, humans, and well, I don't know where the elves are located at. Don't know if they're even implemented yet. Early access is a little bit all over the place. Anyways, there's basically two different types of tastes, and if you cover these, you're pretty good for the start. Okay, let's create the flamed rat, and we're good to go. Now we have food on the list. Now all we need to do is transport our meats into the storage room. Here we can now reserve the shelf for meat, rats. There we go. Or you can just leave it with a common denomination. It's up to you. What's now important to note is that we have now more work at our hand which we need to fulfill. I highly recommend to have one person in your kitchen working as somebody that's just designated to cook. Somebody with high values like these is pretty nice. I just want to point out something that I didn't do in the first episode. There are different levels of workers. There's unskilled workers, and currently I sadly don't have one in my selection. Ah, here we have one. There's also skilled workers. The thing about skilled workers is they have higher needs. I'd recommend for the starter time to stick to the unskilled workers. They're more than good enough for you to get yourself accustomed to the game. Like I said in the previous episode, if you don't meet the needs of the workers, they can go quite unhappy, and you don't want them to be unhappy. On the other hand, skilled workers also have better work skills, so there's that. Just wanted to quickly glance over that. For today, we're going to pick up Josiah. Now, if we want our workers to be specialized somewhere, we need to work on their schedule. So, first up, two things. I want to expand my tap room because I feel like it ain't large enough anymore. So, here goes that. This is something which I want to point out here. We need to replace these. It's really important to design your establishment that you keep things if you can, as expandable as possible, because especially the tap room, as your tavern grows larger, you probably want to stick something onto that. But generally, if you run a small tavern, the room that you have available is also very, very limited. This is something that you always need to take into account. I figured that the Swamp Tavern quickly feels a little bit claustrophobic. You surely catch my drift. I'm going to expand the staff room here because staff will need more. What we need here is the work schedule thing. This needs to go onto any wall where it fits, and now we can configure the schedule. But there's one more thing that I want to go for first, and that's lockers. A locker is necessary for your workers to have uniforms. Uniforms are only needed if you want to make somebody a specialist. But now let's go into the schedule menu for it first. Here we get to configure where and when somebody works. We have standard assignments of generalists. This means everybody does any job whenever the job comes up. You can here select now this, and if you click into a blank spot, you can see how it expands. If we click into an occupied spot, we erase it. After any change has been made, oh, we already have one skilled worker. I overlooked him in the previous episode. Shame on me. Look at Mark. Anyways, we are going to go here now and assign ourselves one first specialist. Josiah should be our chef. I don't want anybody else going for cooking, so I go now over to the generalist, uncheckmark the cook, and overwrite this now like that. So if we compare, we have now a generalist that is much more limited like that. And if you assign different times here, you can obviously also let your people work at different times. This, though, is only working if you go for your tap room, and if you click in there, there's a room schedule icon here. Here you can select when your tavern's supposed to be opened or closed. You have to fit the schedules of your workers to that as well, of course. So the bigger your establishment grows, the more important schedules grow. I highly recommend at some point to just hire somebody as a full-time janitor. I don't know, I figured at 5 to 6 workers, there's eventually always dirt somewhere happening, and if you just unemploy people from the janitorial work on their sidelines here, like these 3 here, if they don't need to sweep the floors anymore, you don't need any specific hauler for a pretty long amount of time. Obviously, it's up to you how you want to progress here at this and process this whole task. So, one last thing that I find a pretty good thing to have in the kitchen, and that's the soup pot. I promised that, and I mean to fulfill. So, the soup pot, as you see here, is a pretty bulky thing. Our kitchen is pretty small. Let's go for this. And it's now bemoaning that things are missing, obviously. Okay. What you require when you go for a soup pot is in the outdoors menu, you can build yourself a well. This goes wherever the ground is blue, and you just click there, and now you have the water. Technically, practically not yet. You need to click the well and go for manage stock, and here now you see the water. You do 1 surplus 10, and now I like to prioritize crafting these items. If I have this like that, my folks will always pay attention that there is enough of the water in the stockpile. So now we have pretty much most of the things that we require, except for vegetable. So, vegetable and meals and ingredients for meals are sold ideally here at the Farmers Guild. So, I'm going to quickly fast forward and fill my purse and then continue at this point. Alright, here we go. That's better. So, we're going to buy ourselves some greens for the soup, and for the side dishes, well, let's order those greens in turbo mode because we're now rich and want to spend things. Side dishes. So, side dishes are things that will earn you extra money. You might have noticed that the rat is selling not too costly. Side dishes the people will receive in as an addition to their meal. And as you see there, there's also quality ratings. We're going to order ourselves some mushrooms from our local vendor, some rat to fill up the order, and there's that. So, let's order or wait until the orders get fulfilled. Our friendly tentacle guy can do. Also reordered some booze. Obviously, we need some fresh just drink it. And there's that. Oh, I forgot to build a bed for the poor guy. I'm very sorry, man. So Mark's happiness is dwindling because he's sleeping on the floor and it's cold. Be a better tavern keeper than me. I'm sorry, Mark. So, now we have everything we require. To create a soup, go on over here. Let's do a morsel soup. Water, we add tasty bog water. For the morsel, we add the tasty rat bits and the carrot. And as you see here, the most important part is that you can always see how your customers will like it. Obviously, we don't have a full glimpse on the people that would be visiting the tavern because we are now not at the point where we have all the customers unlocked. But now we can create the soup, and from this point on, our cook will create soup as well. The important thing here is that you need to select the soup which should be in stock there. You can always cook one soup per pot, and storybook has to wait. And each pot has 10 servings. That means we have 10 portions that we can bring to the customers, and then a new pot has to be cooked. This is quite different from the grill that just serves on demand. Sorry for that. Story broke into the video. This is pretty different from the grill that serves on demand. The soup pot does not have a wind-up per meal, but as soon as it's empty, a new soup has to be cooked. With the configurations that I've done here, it's pretty simple to just keep soup constantly stocked. And yeah, that's pretty much that. When we look at the last point here, the stew, as you see there, we can do that pretty comparable, but the rat doesn't suffice. Here we need different meat. It needs to be a different quality type that you find only on quality meats. Like these here. It's not that trait, but yeah. I haven't tried out if chicken works, but it... Oh, I did try out if chicken works. That works. The rat obviously falls a little bit through the sink. Ingredients, as you see, are not all the same. And the total amount of stars on the ingredients is showcasing the total amount of quality of the food. And here, again, the same things apply as before. The higher the quality of the ingredients, the higher the happiness it provides for your customers. So that's pretty much what I wanted to cover in this episode. As a glimpse from here on out, your goal always is to fulfill the next few star ratings, which are always a combination of all the services that you can currently provide for your customers. Every one of these tooltips is showcasing what you need to do. As you see here, our cookery is coming along quite nicely, and yeah, services like these, it's pretty self-explanatory. If you follow that, your star rating will increase, and you unlock new service types. In the next episode, we are going to cover the full thing of this book here. The only thing that I didn't manage to cover in this episode, but wanted to, but there was no group, was groups. I just want to quickly go here. Yellow question marks will appear, and groups have to be accepted or denied here in this book. This book also doubles down as a preview about customers that come. If you invest money here, you get more and more insight about how these people work. I'll be doing a deep dive into this menu in a future episode. I just wanted to point out, if there's a yellow one over here in that corner here, you have groups that you need to manage. Just accept groups that you can handle. You always get a warning about what these people want from you in terms of services that need to be provided, and you're pretty much golden. Okay, gonna cover up in the next episode new things and more management steps ahead. Let me know in the comment section if any questions arise. And yeah, thanks for watching. Drop a like, drop a subscribe. Feel free to support the channel via Ko-fi or any other given means. And of course, I want to say a big thanks for all the support. And thanks for watching, obviously. And guys are really great. Thanks for all the time and attention. See you all in the next one.